When we don't list it, we lose it. As we advance professionally, certainly we take on more responsibility. That means we want to get better and better at learning how to manage these strategic and tactical activities. If you've ever been one to procrastinate, you believe you can multitask, or you feel like you're just overwhelmed more than you'd like, keep watching and I'll show you the truth behind what I mean when I say list it or lose it. Hi, my name is Shawn Sommerkamp, and this is Motivationeer Christian Coaching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Please hit the bell icon so you can be reminded every time I post a new video, which I do 2 times per week. Please also consider becoming a member at motivationeer.com. Your membership really supports this channel. Thank you. So the phrase list it or lose it actually has 2 meanings. On the one hand, if we try to do our short and long-term activities without writing them down on a list, we will forget them. Period. End of story. Our brains are notoriously good at losing track. On the other hand, science shows us that when we try to keep track of things by just storing it in our heads, it creates inside of us physiological stress. And when the stress remains for too long, we will lose it on our fellow employees. This is based scientifically on what's known as the Zeigarnik effect. Zeigarnik, thank you pronouncenames.com, was a Soviet psychologist, Lithuanian actually, who in 1927 conducted a now landmark experiment where she tested the ability of her participants to remember tasks, activities, to-do items. You can access the original 1927 artifact from a link I'm providing below. We are said to be experiencing the Zeigarnik effect when we feel intrusive thoughts about something that we started but have not completed, or one of those things that we know is going to be required of us because of our job duty and we just haven't gotten to it yet. It's that nagging feeling, like forgetting or missing something. Interestingly, marketers have capitalized on this brain science for decades. For example, teaser headlines in news stories. That's Zeigarnik. TV show cliffhangers. The to be continued. That's also Zeigarnik. Clickbait on Facebook, YouTube ads. And even in video games, side quests in order to continue the mission. This automatic dissonance that floats around when we haven't completed a task will go away when we write down our responsibilities. That includes more than just unfinished tasks, anything that we know we're responsible for the future. It will remove the stress, which means to-do lists are invaluable for our success. By getting the unfinished work or the work that we're supposed to do in the future out of our brains and down on a list means our brains are now freed to focus on the task at hand. Lists, believe it or not, are also captured throughout the Bible. God gave Noah a detailed list of how to build the ark. That's found in Genesis 6. God gave Aaron details about how the tabernacle should be built. That's in Exodus 26. God gave David specific plans, floor plans for Solomon's temple in 2 Chronicles 3. And then in the New Testament, Jesus gave them a step-by-step process on how to share their faith town to town when he sent them out 2 by 2. That's Matthew chapter 10. And I believe the essence of lists can be found also in 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 40. It says, "But all things must be done properly and in orderly manner." Yes, I do know that Paul wrote this specifically dealing with controversy and confusion happening around worship within that church there in Corinth. And yet, I believe this has implications for us because of what it says in Romans 12:1, that our lives are our spiritual act of worship. Doing things properly and in an orderly manner can be accomplished by using lists. Let's say you're one of those people who procrastinate some or a lot. We can rely on Zeigarnik to help out here. Write down the tasks that are required to get you started. It doesn't mean you're going to actually start doing them, just getting them out of your mind and down into a list means the procrastination, which is really just a low-level stress, gets removed. You'll be surprised at how then you'll be inspired to start the work. So you think you can multitask? Not according to Zeigarnik. If we try to do two things at the same time, it means both will not be done fully. Our brains will look at them as being partially complete, so they'll stay with us. In fact, it will cause us stress. I use a very simple software tool called Todoist. I use it sort of as my short-term and long-term memory. Very briefly, I'll just say the inbox I use for my short-term. Every day, I go to the inbox and write down the things that are required of me that day. As I do them, I check them off. The next day, if something remained from the day before, I determine if it's something I want to do that day. If it remains for a period of time, I move it into the projects folder, which is what I refer to as my long-term memory. I have many project folders, so they're categorized. Every so often, I'll check the projects folder to see if any activity is now relevant. If so, I move it back into the inbox to get it done as a daily activity. And because the software is a software as a service solution, it's in the cloud, that means it follows me everywhere I go. I'll leave a link below so you can access the software if you like. As boring as to-do lists are for some, they are invaluable for all. When we take what's in our brain and get it out into a list, not only will we not forget it, we'll also relieve stress. And this is very good. Here are a few coaching questions to close. What new awareness has this brought to you? What small step can you take to leverage this? When will you take that next step? What might keep you from doing this? If you're willing, I would love to hear your answers to each of these questions in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for 2 new videos each week. Tell me in the comments below about your career situation and I'll make a video for you with a shout out. You can also become a member at motivationeer.com. Your career is not just a way to make a living, it's a way to transform the world.